If they do dive him, they can definitely get a few kills. And this Darkseer, you say he comes online late. Not necessarily. It depends which item build he decides to go for. If he goes for that Helm of Dominator, he can just rush them down super early on. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case for him. As he does have that Ember Spirit, you have the Nature's Prophet, you have the Darkseer. They can run them over after the laning stage. During the laning stage, they can run them over. Use that Iron Shell on the Ember Spirit, let him just go ham on these supports and the Terrorblade, who isn't really... He is also just as squishy. He has a lot of armor, but he's susceptible to nukes and magic damage.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, bringing in the Terrorblade with a laning Ember Spirit and all these like right clickers, it seems like it's going to have a rough time. I wouldn't pretty much imagine that they try to hunt him down as soon as possible.
I'm a bit surprised about the Invoker ban because I thought Ember was going to be played by Abed.
No, Ember's more likely safe lane from what we're seeing with MP. You know, the build Lizard mentioned is it's just become a safe laner because he has too many bad mid matchups. Yeah. But it is flexible. There is a possibility, but because ViCi have last pick, I think you're safer just picking a standard mid that doesn't get countered.
All right, just to please one of the signs, is this a Meepo game?
No,
it is. This is a perfect Meepo game. This is like a really nice Meepo.
Lizard, please.
This is a good Meepo game, but OD is better. He's in the meta. Yeah, he isn't banned out. And
there's Meepo or there's OD. Which one are you going to go for? Well, I guess we get the OD.
No, but seriously, this is, if there was any game so far for Fnatic, this was it. If they wanted to pick that Meepo, they could have.
I want to say that you've already said that like a million times.
I haven't, though.
Don't pressure him. He's a Meepo player. He's trying to get back.
Ooh, a Viper last pick.
Okay, well, pretty standard stuff coming out from ViCi Gaming, and not too bad on Fnatic either.
ViCi just have no team fight, no real space craze. I don't know, their draft looks not the greatest to me.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, but if they have a good laning stage, if they get a fast ATOS on that Viper, they're going to have a way of catching that Ember. Besides, with the Shadow Shaman, they have the push with the Shadow Shaman. They have the utility with the Viper. Maybe they can take it, but it's much easier for Fnatic to execute, so I'm going to go with...
You're going with Fnatic. How about you guys?
I'm going Fnatic as well. I think this is a much clearer outdraft. I mean, last game was crazy. It was kind of 50-50. This one, not the case, I think.
I actually think ViCi can survive in that early game, you know? The Darkseer is great, but where's the other Wombo? Where's the big old team fight that he's vacuuming into? You got the Nick stun. Chains. You got chains.
Where's the team fight on ViCi?
Who cares? They don't have team fight. We don't need team fight. Guess what? We have a bounty hunter, so now we're rich. So I'm going to go for the ViCi game.
All right. I'm going to go for Fnatic for this game number 2. And if I am right, then Fnatic is securing their space, their slot at the International 2019. So that would be a big one. Let's find out what's going to happen here in game number 2. Of course, vote for your MVP. You know the drill. An exit, Stockholm, make some sound for your commentary duo of Odie Pixel and Fog!
Let's go, Fog!
Thank you very much, Huey. Yes, game 2 ready to go now between Fnatic and ViCi Gaming. We'll see what they've got ready for us in this one. Looking at the draft so far, Fog, anything that sort of jumps out to you as going to be particularly strong from either of these sides?
In particular, I love when Darkseer's paired, of course, with that melee core, or with that melee core in his lane, but also when he has another unit that he can actually Ion Shell. And Ember Spirit, he's probably one of the best to actually carry that Ion Shell and put the aggression out. And just like the panel was talking about, this Terrorblade, he is very susceptible to nuke damage, and I look at this side of Fnatic, and everybody pretty much has this magical damage that can be contributed to put the pressure on. Even this Nature's Prophet, when you hit 6. Wrath of Nature is one of the higher damage spells in the early game if he's able to get it at a decent timing, and I've seen Jabs as this Nature's Prophet really own. I mean, Jabs is just having a phenomenal tournament, and this team has been on the up and up. Every single tournament that I've seen them throughout this year, they just look better and better and better. And they've got a draft that they're comfortable with.
And looking at sort of the 2 final picks, who do you think is going to be a little happier with that outcome? The fact that, Fnatic first pick up the OD themselves, and then in response, ViCi Gaming, they end with that Viper.
And the OD provides them some extra save and all that. Overall, I do like Fnatic's draft just a little bit better here. ViCi seems a little bit awkward just with this the Venge, the Viper, and the Terrorblade cores. It seems like they're gonna have a really hard time just taking any fights. If they get slowed down in this laning phase, I don't see them being able to take any team fights versus the side of Fnatic. They have to pretty much snowball lanes, get some aggressive towers down, have a gold advantage to be able to take the fights versus Fnatic.
Sure, yeah, there's just not a lot of spread damage on ViCi Gaming's heroes. It's gonna be like we target this hero, we kill this hero, and then we move on to this one. on this one. Whereas
it's all single target.
yeah, Fnatic can just run in and, as you say, Iron Shells, the Flame Guard, the stuns for the Nyx Assassin. It's going to be laid out everywhere.
Yeah. They're definitely going to have that team fight advantage. Is ViCi, maybe they can play that fast pace. That's the one thing I do see. Their only long cooldown is really what Serpent Wards and the meta, I guess you could say, would be their long cooldown spells. On Fnatic, the thing is that they can also match that aggression. I look at their lineup, sure, they have strong team fight, but it's not like they're super reliant on any of their ultimates. OD ult is their biggest one. The rest of them, they're just going to be playing around Ion Shell, playing with that aggression with their double Ion Shell, the Ember, as well as that Nyx Assassin, making moves out.
We'll see ViCi Gaming. We're able to start with grabbing the 3 of the bounty runes.
Okay.
And as these lanes set out, we'll see how things start off here.
3 bounty runes equal 65% win rate.
So yeah, quite a swing. Just that little small sort of play, but the early little sort of drops can turn into a big waterfall. Top. Nice DJ. You look to run down DY. The body blocks as well with these treants. That'll do it. Very nicely done there with the control.
I don't believe they expected the tri-lane to be up here. I think they only expected to be 2 heroes. They wanted to get the first meta and just kill the Dark Hero.
The creeps coming in past the tower. They can keep this pressure on. Another stun there onto Paparazzi. Paparazzi's dead as well. It's a double kill for Ice. DY, he's being trapped up by the treants. He's starting to tick down to the Iron Shell. DJ and Jabs are very low. So is Ice. Paparazzi's back in the lane. Ice will stab up in the trees. Jabs, he's turning, punching into DY. One more touch would do it. He's got the treants on him. Can the treants finish this kill off? They
do. The brace doesn't block him.
Oh, they're able to reach around it and get a 3rd kill. This
tri-lane definitely caught them off guard. They were definitely not aware that the 3 heroes were going to be here right away. It's an Ember Spirit now versus a Bounty Hunter down bottom. So Yang is going to get a lot of farm down here, and he can actually put a bit of pressure here too. He's actually gone for the Shadow Walk at level 2. I've seen a couple of times when I think Zai was playing. He's actually gone for the Shuriken. You just get in, you spam the Shuriken in the laning phase, and it's pretty mana efficient for how much damage it really does. 150 at level 1.
We'll see how well MP is able to lane against him. He does have, obviously, the Nature's Prophet around the map. If Yang at any point gets too aggressive, you can expect global teleport reaction.
Yeah.
And this mid lane, we'll see who sets ahead of the others. 6 for 1. Well, 6 for 2, 5 for 2. Very close at the start between the Viper and the OD.
Yeah, trade farm. Viper might be able to get a little bit more because he can back up and do the neutrals with that Nether Toxin, as we see. He'll probably just spam Nether Toxin, push the wave out, go to jungle, and he'll maybe get a little bit more out of it. Depending on how the denies, of course, go from that OD if he's able to secure them under Nether Toxin.
Yeah, but it really feels like the map pressure from Fnatic is going to be very strong in the early half of the game to the point where how likely is it that this Terrorblade finds anywhere safe in the jungle to farm without any sort of threat of invasion? There's going to be a point, right, where this Prophet and Nyx Assassin are just constantly hunting him down.
Yeah, I think keeping tier 1s, we've already talked about how important keeping those tier 1s alive. In this game, I think it's just that much more, because if those invasion plays start happening, Fnatic gets these ward downs, yeah, Paparazzi's going to have very limited space to actually get that farm on the map.
As the bottom lane goes, as you say, continues to be a trade here very evenly between MP and Yang.
Yep. MP starting to, once he starts to, Jab shows his face, Yang plays a little bit more careful.
And Jab's able to make these pulls, keep control of the wave. Knows that there's going to be no interruption with the lane being just a solo bounty as it is for now. The majority focus from ViCi Gaming supports being around this top half of the map, making sure the Paparazzi's lane and area is safe to farm in.
It's going to hurt their levels a little bit on the supports as they're doing this full defensive tri-lane. They have to make sure to get those pulls off constantly as sentry for sentry. It's taken out. MP also, he goes to that side, that secret shop there, picks up a bottle. So now he's going to be able to do better in this, even better in this lane than he already is, because he's going to have that extra sustain over Yang.
Yang continues to poke, make sure that he gets that financial benefit away from MP. As yeah, Jabs' levels are going to be strong at the start. Yang's going to come over and take a bit of Jabs' money as well. The mid lane, Fade, actually with the haste rune, diving in with the shackles. The TP will come through. Yang, Fade is trying to finish off Arbit, but he can't quite do so. Now with those TPs, Ori in trouble. DJ with the body blocks will set up for the kill on the Viper.
That's the 2 supports from Fnatic. I mean, Abed wasn't even hitting him at all. It was literally just the Nyx as well as that Nature's Prophet. This Blightstone, that little bit of minus armor that comes into play for those extra right clicks, and I think it was still the Nyx who had Ion Shell on him too, so a little bit of extra damage coming into play there. And that's always what the best thing is about having like these Nyxes or Earth Spirits or whatever that you do have with Ion Shell, because you can just TP and make moves, and even though your hero doesn't provide the most damage, the Ion Shell will assist in that.
A very fast-paced reaction to an understandable move there. You have the haste rune on the Shaman, you want to dive for that.
Runes coming out. We see the bounties in about 5 seconds. Fnatic trying to make an aggressive stance before they do spawn to guarantee themselves at least 2 or 3 of them. Looks like they will be able to get 3. And I believe it's MP who fills up his bottle. So that's a stay, and will always be there for him.
Fade is there with Yang. See if they can try for this. They've got the shackles. Do they have the damage? We'll get the flame guard off. The TP is coming in from the Prophets. So now Fnatic, they can try and beat down onto Yang. Yang will turn again for one more hit. Has got the movement speed to keep himself safe, but MP won't fall. The backup from Jab's enough to stop ViCi Gaming committing for the Ember Spirit kill.
Yeah, not having a point in chains. Just going for the 0-2-3 build, not the 1-1-1 or 1-3-1-3-1. Just wanted to have this flame guard so he can... we've been seeing flame guard more, but yeah, not having chains makes him unable to get that kill there. But he'll be able to farm better because of the high points in flame guard. As we see Abed, he's pulled ahead in that mid matchup. So Viper, because of that gank that got set up, gets punished quite a bit there. And Paparazzi, even though they had that, that extreme dive that happened up top, he's still able to secure his farm, 36-8 on this Terrorblade. And the Darkseer, only 16-4 in comparison to 24 on the bounty. So Ice is getting slowed a bit there by those denies that's coming out.
And all these sort of positioning for DJ being watched for the moment by the Sword from ViCi Gaming.
Have they actually stacked any jungle? The thing we used to see a lot with Darkseer is you stack jungle to make sure that you can get these levels to get that high level Ion Shell, and they actually haven't in this time around. But Ice is still already level 5, so level 3 Ion Shell strong. Bottom.
Oh, they do get the Shuriken and the Shackles down onto MP. Yes, got the one charges though. Not quite enough damage to take him up top. Jabs coming in past the tower here. Ice as well. Looking for the body blocks. TP reactions come out. He'll get the surge away with the Darkseer. Ice getting beaten down by DY, but will be able to get himself away from the Vengeful Spirit. Jabs will be the new focus. As Ori TP's in for this one, they have the slows and control to take down the Prophet. Ori does have to leave his lane to get that kill, and it's just a support kill, so this will open up space in that mid lane for Abed to just continue to free farm on this OD.
As soon as they hit the level 5 on the Darkseer, they tried to make that aggressive play. That level 3 Ion Shell just poses much higher threat. Yeah, they weren't able to get it. A rotation from Ori, definitely helpful, but that makes it even more so that Abed gets more free farm in the mid, as he's neck and neck with that Terrorblade. Yang constantly stealing that money. Only has 31 last hits, but not too far behind that Ember Spirit because of just constantly poking him. And now he does have track available, so with the track, with that Blades of Attack, it's high amount of damage that comes through with the crits, this Fade.
He tried to pick up some levels, but instantly able to walk up to the high ground, set up with the Astral. Ori as well having to be a little careful as they are hanging around with that Nyx Assassin towards the mid lane. Bottom, Yang. Those tracks out now, so he does have to be a little more careful about the way that the bounty can just chase him down and beat him down. Pressure continues up top. Ice going in, dropping the wall for this one. With these 2 Ion Shells, if we can get on top of Paparazzi, I mean, Paparazzi does have a Thunder. Will turn it. In fact, with the Metamorphosis, Ice does have to hide. He'll get himself into the trees at the same time. Yang actually was able to kill off MP. MP must have messed up the players as Yang came hunting for him in the jungle and finds that pick off on the Ember.
And that's absolutely huge. Now he can look to make moves around the map since he shut down that safe laner, and with that early level track, level 4 Janata too, his damage is very high with phase boots and a crown. Just those constant critical strikes that come out from your track.
Let's get the full use of the Shrine here, Paparazzi, Yang. And Ori heading over. It's DJ. Let's see if we can set up onto Fade. They've now moved the Ember Spirit up to the top lane. Also TPing in Fade. Trying to catch a break. The stun will miss. He does get the X off onto MP, but MP chasing him down. There's reaction. Sleight of Fist shot comes out to get the kill, but they've already lost DJ on the Nyx Assassin, and ViCi Gaming should be able to get more out of this. The track's out onto MP. He committed in deep for that support kill. Looks like he's going to pay off his life as Paparazzi blocks him off. The damage is there. They'll get themselves another ViCi Gaming, starting to already get track kills very early on this game.
Yeah, 3-man track there, as they're also distributing their resources. DY was farming the mid lane. Ice is going to start cutting down bottom, but yeah, good movements coming out from ViCi, and Yang really, I mean, he's really carrying the weight here inside this early game. 1-0-2, great lane matchup too. And just getting that solo kill on MP, it's going to slow down this Ember so much. Just look at his farm. 10 minutes in, almost, at level 6, without even phase boots finished. That is not the place that Fnatic wants this Ember Spirit to be, as they want to be the ones on the aggressive plays.
Yeah, those 2 back-to-back deaths on the bottom and then the top lane really hurting him.
Yeah. Sending DJ now toward that mid lane to soak some experience. Wanted to get these level 6s at a decent time. They're going to be late, though. We see level 5 is already picked up on DY, but the other supports in the game are all level 4.
As you can already tell, you know, how much of a nuisance this Bounty Hunter's movements are going to be.
Yeah.
Yang just constantly making Fnatic have to be there prepared, jabs, having to react and be there, standing next to any sort of core that is under pressure of getting gone upon. As Yang up towards the top again, continue to steal the money of MP. That's a lot of damage this Bounty does early on. Having the drums, I mean, a couple of hits and MP's down to less than half health.
Wow, he's already got phase and drum. Okay, so he's much harder to kill too. Your movement speed, if you pop that drum and you have the track movement speed, you're almost haste movement speed inside of this early start of the game. And this is one of the first times like Jabs is playing a hero that isn't a saver. You know, and pretty much the majority of their games he's been playing like Oracle, Wyverns, just heroes that can save up his buddies. This one, it's a little bit more of an aggressive playstyle.
Yeah, if anything, the pressure's going to be on Abed to use that Astral to keep his teammates safe.
Yeah, look at him. Look at how fast he moves.
I mean, following down a Surge Darkseer. I mean, he's diving in under the tower. I mean, Yang's just going for it. Does get sprouted, but he cuts his way through. He's going to get the kill. He will fall for it, but I mean, it's a scary, scary bounty hunter. Yang can just commit, and it doesn't matter if you have Surge. He'll just chase you down to the end of the world.
Jabs gets a ton of experience from that kill, though, is the one downside for ViCi. Now he's level 6 on this Nature's Prophet, so that ulti, we were talking about how much damage you can put through. It's like 1,000 HP on a Terrorblade. If they can find these heroes with the Wrath of Nature coming through, Wrath of Nature plus their Vendetta, they can definitely look to set up for some global plays.
Well, fun of space to take that top tier 1 tower. As you say, this is a game of where those towers are of utter importance for ViCi Gaming having this Terrorblade. And you know, any sort of map control that Fnatic can take away from ViCi Gaming's half is going to make it that little harder for Paparazzi's Terrorblade to stay at the top. He is there at the moment, of course, after having a very good showing the laning stage with the backup that the supports had. And in fact, at the moment, himself and DY smoking up, looking for some action down bottom, so they can catch anyone out. ViCi Gaming have also got the Rod of Atos finished on Ori's Viper.
They've got the Vendetta, they've got the Wrath of Nature. They want to set up for Fade as he goes for Ice. DJ is here.
He's going to get the answer, the stun onto the Vengeful Spirit. The Nature's Wrath will bounce out, kill off the Shaman. Swaps there, going to be there for DY, getting in. Ice underneath Paparazzi, but ViCi Gaming, they've lost 2 for this. Paparazzi's in trouble as well. They'll chase him down. The Astral from Arbed setting up. Fnatic surround him. DJ's got the stun back up. That's Paparazzi dead as well. As ViCi Gaming smoking up the Terrorblade, looking for action, but it ends in disaster as all 3 heroes die.
Yeah, and look how much damage. We were just saying, he got level 6 because of that kill on the bounty. Look how much that NP ulti did inside of that fight. Pretty much setting up for those kills.
Yeah, perfect
for his team. And that was the meta just used. He literally popped meta right as they got down there, and he dies, and they don't get any tower pressure off of it.
DJ.
They even used the Serpent once to lose.
Getting a stun land onto Yang. It's a difficult one as well. Jabs is going to TP in, but because he used the Wrath with the Arcane Rune, he's got it up again. It's already there, and the second ult will bounce through. Up against the final touch. That's Yang dead. They're getting big kills here, Fnatic.
And the Wrath of Nature is going to be up again in 40. So he's going to be able to make this play again as soon as Vendetta is back up. It's actually back up already, so they're going to be able to make these plays. And he's in full Midas now.
He's got his Midas ready to go. Jabs is ready to carry. This Nature's Prophet's going to start rolling in the gold.
I mean, the priorities of farm change when you get that type of, you get a solo kill experience on a bounty, you get yourself a double kill afterwards. I thought he'd go for like that book 1 play that I've seen a lot of these 5 Nature's Prophets do since he was so rich already, but opts for the Midas because he just, pretty much had all the gold for it after those kills. And yeah, Serpent Ward's used, meta used in that bottom lane, and they were able to get 0 tower damage on the side of ViCi because of the response from Fnatic. That is something that they cannot have happen too much for themselves. As that's their tower push. If they can't actually set up for those tower pushes and Fnatic can keep pushing them out of it, they're going to be able to just guarantee so much farm on this OD of Abed. He's top of that net worth.
Top DJ will show Yang. It's going to be on to him. Nature's Wrath comes out. DJ is actually looking to turn. Can he land the stun? He can. Is there going to be any backup though? He's going to get swapped in deep. The wall has been dropped though. In fact, the losers of the wall will kill off DY. So Fnatic will be able to get a trade in terms of the 1-for-1. TP in from Jabs. Fnatic, they're looking for more. The Sprout is going to block off Yang. Jabs, he's got the Sentry Ward down. They've got the vision required for this bounty hunter, but Ori's killed off too. MP's going to be able to run down with the Flame Guard, the Sleight of Fist. He'll get themselves the kill on Yang. Ori getting the poison stacked up onto this Ember Spirit, but he's just killing the other two of them. It's a split fight, but Fnatic, they were able to break apart ViCi Gaming. As ViCi Gaming, they were trying to fight in the lane, fight in the jungle, but Fnatic, they were just able to overrun them in two separate parts of the map.
They were actually so close to dying, the both of them there, if they didn't get the kills exactly at that moment. It's perfectly done by them, and yeah, this is big swing of momentum there for them as Abed now will pick up a Blink Dagger. And that's again, now Serpent Wards were used this time. Again, this time it's not hitting a tower at all. This time it's used inside of a team fight. So we see those 3 towers of Fnatic all still standing.
Yeah, and against the lineup with not just the Serpent Wards, but also this Terrorblade with Meta. That's, you know, that's a good standing to not have lost any of those tier 1s at 15 minutes in.
For sure, especially when your team fight is very limited. So if you start losing this map control and Fnatic's able to dictate the pace, they're going to be the ones bringing the fights to you. And yeah, their fight is just not nearly as strong.
ViCi Gaming, they're out ready to strike once more with the smoke, rotating around towards the mid lane. They're looking to try and get a catch, see if they can find anyone. They've got the track out onto Jabs. Abed as well there, hanging around the mid. He's under the tier 1 tower. DY's going to head in. Taking the track, the swap back straight away with the Hex and the stun out onto this OD. He's in a lot of trouble and Abed's dead. The track out onto Jabs. They'll chase down a second. ViCi Gaming with a successful smoke will find both of the kills they were hunting.
Very nicely done there. DY actually using the Wave of Terror first to make sure that...
Oh, the stun has got DY. Again, DJ will be able to at least find something, but still, ViCi Gaming, they'll be fine with this. They get Abed off the map. That OD's a big kill to find. It's opening up this bottom lane. A lot of space for Paparazzi to move down onto the bottom. Metamorphosis. Popty's going to look to take this tier 1 tower, and he'll have no trouble doing it on his own with the damage output he has. So Paparazzi continuing to roll on with that net worth.
Now they've got a mech on the Viper, so that's the unit that they can rally around for that team fight. And that was such a good play there by them, because sure, you're going mid, you're not getting the tower mid, but you force the reaction, and that allows Paparazzi to take it, and you get track kills. So with a lineup with Bounty Hunter, you know, sometimes we say the kills aren't worth it, but with Bounty, it's always worth it to go for those.
Look at the chains. Onto Ori. Ori does have 3 surrounding him. They're going to drop the wall down. Moving with the vacuum. They're trying to focus this fight, but they'll get the stun off. They're moving in as well with the OD. The Serpent Wars have been dropped down. Defensive Astral onto the Ember Spirit. Can MP get himself out of his? Got one more Sleight of Fist. He's got a Remnant out as well. Will be able to jump back to the safety of his team. They'll put the drums and get out of there. Yang trying to chase down, but Fnatic, they'll stick together. Turn around with the Sleight. Again, the stun's landed. They do get the dust out onto Yang, but Yang's back up to the high ground, but it's straight in with a Blink Abed. He wants to finish off the kill. Goes up to the high ground. They're on top of Yang. Yang's going to surely fall. Pops the stick charges. The mech, not enough to save him. Sanity's Eclipse is down. Swamp will be there from DY to save Ori, but it cost him his life. As ViCi Gaming losing these skirmishes against Fnatic.
They've reset and ran away. Their Serpent Winds were already committed. The Metamorphosis went down too. Fnatic just back up, reset the fight with that MP being able to disengage. And yeah, Abed with that aggressive blink forward. I think he had, what, 30 or 40 int maybe, I think at some point, or 20-something int before he gets that hammer off. And thank God that DY is there to get that save on the Viper, because that could have been a full-blown disaster for ViCi. This wall inside the fights is something you really can't ignore, because they have these auras. You know, the Venge, if he does clip the Venge, or he clips even the Terrorblade, like this illusion is very threatening.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, Manta now.
And DJ with a full Spirit Vessel on the Nyx Assassin, so an extra hefty bit of damage ready to offer.
He's been landing some very hard to hit stuns too.
Yeah, against these, you know, super speedy Yang with the phase drums, it's not an easy hero to catch with that stun.
Yeah, and in the later stages too, we're gonna, Slacks was the one mentioning that they don't really have the most combos coming into play here, but they do have the vacuum into Nyx stun. It's something that can definitely be executed by this lineup if they want to be able to go for it in the later stages.
Yang's out. Vision onto MP. Fades there as well. They're going to put the dust though. They know Yang's about. DJ's looking to try and land the stun. Won't land it this time. There'll be the chance for Fade to turn around with the Hex. Sleight of Fist comes down to 3 of them. The vacuum into the wall holds them back for now. ViCi Game will still try and step forward. They get the Viper Strike down onto DJ. Back towards the river. Abed focuses down on Yang. The Bounty Hunter's got it.
Ori's
DJ,
isolated.
he's still alive. He's able to walk this off. The damage from Ori was not enough to kill off. The DJ is now. They'll turn. Serpent Wars again being committed. Jazz will start to take them down. Sleight of Fist and Chains catches onto onto DY. DY gets Ori and Fade back up to the high ground. Astral keeping Jab safe from the walls, but the Ether Shock is there. Fade has the reach with that Ether Lens to burst down the Prophet.
That looked a bit scary there for Ori for a second, but they're able to get that great swap by DY and just be able to get him the hell out of there. Paparazzi showed up like he wanted to maybe take that fight, but...
We'll see this once more again, the start of this fight. You know, DJ trying his best, but you see just how Speedy Yang is duking it all out. As soon as the walls drop, though, they have this potential to turn the fight around. Or he commits a lot on DJ, but DJ, he gets away. That mech pop from Ice keeps him safe, and again, the fight a little too broken up from ViCi Gaming.
Yeah, they pretty much I think they called Paparazzi over because they're like, oh god, this might actually be a fight we have to take because Ori's in a bit of a bad spot, but Fade coming in clutch with those Serpent Wards to kind of split the fight up and scare Fnatic a bit here from stepping forward.
It is still sort of another Serpent Wards that's forced down. Fnatic, they're able to farm pretty much the entirety of those wards up. That's that's a lot of money.
They farmed at least, I want to say at least 2 of the full sets of the Serpent Wards because they got the bottom one and they got that one. The mid one, I don't think they actually got to be able to farm, but yeah, Fade not able to get as much tower pressure that he wants to off that because of the fast-paced Fnatic is setting. They're constantly making the moves around, not letting ViCi set up and go for those tower pushes.
Still, though, despite how fast Fnatic is playing across the map, Paparazzi's not showing any sort of signs of pressure. He's there at the top, continuing to have a very smooth game on this Terrorblade. The BKB coming in very shortly on top of the Manta. And at that point, he will be returning and turning up to any sort of fight that started. If he gets in the midst of it all with the BKB popped and the Metamorphosis, he can strike back hard towards the mid. Astral setup will be there. DJ does follow in with the stun, but the swap's there from DY. Gets Fade back out of safety. Goes for the magic missile, but the spike carapace causes issue again. Vacuum from Ice, dragging Fade and DY back into the wall. Arbe's been Viper strike defensively. Astral's himself. ViCi Gaming, they've lost the 2 supports.
Ori gets carapace.
And they're going in for more. MP jumps in with the Remnants on top of Ori. Ori dead as well. Fnatic continuing to play at this fanatical pace. 2K lead 23-12. It's not the biggest of leads in net worth because of the fact that Paparazzi is still farming well. He's still keeping himself out of all of these fights, and he needs to, as I say. Yeah. 500 gold, BKB will be there, then he can start thinking about turning up and trying to, ideally pop the meta and just punch into this OD. They have to get Arbed out of the fights because at the moment, Arbed, he's just getting free reign with the rest of his team running in. MP initiating as the Ember Spirit. Arbed's just able to sit the back and start to rack up the in.
Yeah. And especially when they have this wall that comes out from the Darkseer, it's causing just problems to give so much information inside of the fights. He's just clicking the illusions on the supports, and ViCi's like, oh god, the poor Fade as the Shadow Shaman can't deal with these illusions clicking on him.
I see jabs after the Midas, queuing up the Lotus Orb. So ready to offer those sort of outplays. If he's able to put that down onto one of his key core heroes, it's going to make this Viper think twice about going on someone. It's going to make this Terrorblade think twice about sundering someone. It's going to make this Shaman think. There's so much single target spells from ViCi Gaming that suddenly they'll have to hold off on.
Yeah, it can definitely be a great pick to pick up. We even see DJ's queuing it up too, so
it's
it just
so good, this game.
Yeah, has so many different uses it can do. And Ice, he has these Greaves finished up. He's actually approaching the Crimson Guard too.
Taking the swap up, but the Remnant touches there, dodging the magic missile. Still with the track, they'll try and look to chase down. DJ will with the stun, but MP still at a decent enough distance to keep himself safe as it seems. Another surge from Ice gets MP out of there.
That's the meta used. I think as soon as meta goes down, Fnatic can look to take a fight again. Even though I believe the BKB is finished now on Paparazzi, that's their big team fighter for Paparazzi that should get in. And Fnatic, they just want to play fast. They've got 35 seconds left for that Wrath of Nature, so they're going to probably push out the lanes before they have, till they have that one available, and then they can look to actually just take the fight to ViCi.
I think of the Vanguard done on Ice as well, so we've already seen how well Ice has been able to get in on the front line, set up with the vacuum wall. Now it's going to be even easier.
2,000 HP Greaves Vanguard. Yeah, you're not.
He can just walk into the front of the fights.
Yeah, you're not killing this guy very easily at all unless you completely isolate him. This Nether talks. I mean, Viper is actually pretty scary to play when you're playing versus Nyx Assassin because you can't control your damage that you're doing. So you're gonna get stunned pretty much every single time in these fights because of Spike Carapace. Like we're mentioning, Fnatic, they've got their Wrath of Nature up. They know there's the Metamorphosis is on cooldown. They're just looking to make these plays. They even have this deep aggressive ward, so they see that the TB is not even close to the bottom lane at all.
See if they can catch there. Another Fades there in the trees. They want something ideally bigger. There's the Spike Carapace, as you say, setting up for the opening onto this Viper. They'll surround him there. On top of him, follow-ups there with the vacuum wall onto the 2 of them. That's DY and Ori dead. Ice again. Consistently landing these vacuum wall combos. He's making it look so easy.
And DJ, man, there it is. Just literally, as soon as I was talking about it, it's like that carapace. It's really so scary to play as a Viper. You have to be so careful when you're backing up. You're throwing your nether toxins on the floor. It's now that 5k gold advantage for Fnatic has hit. Also that experience too. We're approaching 10,000 experience lead for them.
It's just it almost feels like if in your mind there's any chance that you are going to want to retreat and not take the fight, you just cannot throw nether toxins around.
No.
It's going to be the result of your death every single time, especially when it gets to the point where they have sort of any mobility items to catch him even easier.
I'm looking at these net worths of Fnatic. They don't have a 5. They're transitioning to 5 cores pretty much here in this game. This Nyx Assassin as well as this Nature's Prophet, they're gaining on the Ember Spirit. So everybody has their own types of items here. While you look at the other side of Vengeful Spirit, DY, he's pretty much just like a walking wave of terror, stands around with the aura, and then just a swap provided for his team, which is still quite a lot here for DY. He doesn't really need too many items to do his job as a Vengeful Spirit. But definitely under the gun here, as we've been constantly saying, they can't actually set up to go for any of these tower pushes because of the pace that Fnatic's setting. So mid tier 1 for Fnatic, 3/4 HP. Same thing with that top tower. It's at half HP. So they are just always having to use their Metamorphosis and their Serpent Wards defensively.
Full Crimson Guard on Ice as well, so they've got that full team fight potential to help defensively against Paparazzi. Top lane though, fades in, gets the catch out onto MP. Damage is there easily from Paparazzi with his Metamorphosis. DJ's leading in though. We'll see if Fnatic can try and strike back on this. They get the opening stun, jump forward from Arben, post down the Sanity, he's burning the mana. That's going to be a dead Terrorblade for sure after he comes out of that Astral. They'll hunt down Fade in the trees, get the Shaman here as well. They'll take that. Sure, they lost MP, but they get that huge kill. Paparazzi will still continue to be so far ahead. Yang will be able to snipe the courier. But Paparazzi dying, that's the big one. He was the one, as you can see, on that net worth that was this huge core. He was very much ahead of anybody else in the game.
Yeah.
Anytime Fnatic can kill him, they know that they themselves are getting a step closer to winning this one.
Absolutely. And the thing is, in that fight too, it's like they used the OD ulti, but it's perfectly fine because meta was used. So you're matching your cooldowns. So they pretty much have like the same cooldown on that OD ult as well as that. And the way they executed it, DJ stuns out of invis, and then they just do everything to make sure that Sunder and BKB does not go on.
DJ, he's got the dust, he's going to miss the stun. They have the Astral though from Arbed. That'll buy time for MP to come in with the chains, locking down Yang. Yang will fall. Another kill for MP.
They're just running around the map looking to fight. Even though they don't have their OD ult, they know how powerful they are, and they're actually picking out the Roche. They don't really have the greatest ways to do it. Jabs has a Blightstone. He actually has the Lotus Orb already finished.
Yeah, it's not quick. I think they can do it pretty safe with the Treants. It's going to take a little bit of time though.
It's just, I think the biggest thing is they know that there's no way ViCi can test this. ViCi already used Metamorphosis earlier, and yeah, the rest of their damage is negligible in comparison. The TB can't actually walk into a fight without that meta available. So, free Roche. Not as slow as I thought it would actually be. A little bit faster because of that Blightstone and just how many items they've actually picked up already since early on. Level 19 on Abed. Look at these levels, 15, 19, 17, 16, 14. Look at the difference in comparison. It's a level 15 5 position. Yang now has actually, he's actually the lowest level in the game, I believe, on the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, after having such a good start as well on that bottom lane, Yang.
Yeah, he is the lowest level. And he's been doing his job. He just got picked off a couple times in the fights.
Back-to-back deaths. Yeah. Being just 3, 6, and 5, a lot of those deaths, they just happen consecutively. He was definitely in a positive KDA for the early sort of 15 minutes of this game, but it's all turned around on him. Mid lane Arbed, able to push in and siege onto this tier 2. The exchange is going to be made down bottom. Paparazzi does find a tier 2 tower himself. Metamorphosis back up in a second.
He's just going for the straight damage build. Just wanted to do as much as possible during his BKB duration. He knows he has to kill them pretty much during that, otherwise the fight's going to be very tough for them. As we saw earlier, the definition of how it would happen if Fnatic's able to disengage and re-engage the way they were, the fight's going to not go well for ViCi's. They're looking to back up here. Fnatic, they are smoke trying to catch something. We said they're always looking for these fights.
Eyes on MP to find that opening chains, but there's the full lineup of ViCi Gaming here. DD Rune is going to be available for Fnatic to grab though, so MP's got that bottled up. They'll continue to wrap around with this smoke, Fnatic. ViCi Gaming, they're still in the jungle. Yeah, on the high ground. Fnatic on the low ground. Smoke will dispel. Fnatic know what's up. They pop the dust, seeing if Yang was around, but still it's just ViCi Gaming being there. Up on the cliffs. Arbed, he's going to jump straight in. He's getting immediately hexed. He needs help now. He needs it fast. Is he going to get the vacuum walls down? But that's going to be Arbed down the walls, but he has that Aegis. Ready for round 2. Paparazzi pops the men of the BKB. Will be able to kill off DJ, but they've lost the Shaman. MP Remnant dodging away from Paparazzi. Arbed, he had to get away. The damage from this Terrorblade cannot be understated. As Arbed stands by the shrine, Paparazzi's BKB has worn off. There'll be a buyback with the Shaman Fade. With that buyback, he's able to get back in, off of the Hex, the Shackles, onto the OD. They've killed off Arbed. It's a double kill for Paparazzi. They're still good to go for more. Triple kill for Paparazzi as they kill off Jabs as well. Ice. He's got to try his best to surge away. The track's upon him. Jump foot again. Fade. The Hex. The Shackles. He's locked down. Another ViCi Gaming. They'll take 4 as Fade with a beautiful buyback helps turn that fight around and get ViCi Gaming in prime position to push up to the base. There's 4 dead. Only Arbed has buyback available.
The damage coming out from Paparazzi in that fight. He did 10,000. He did pretty much everything for
They go in for tier 4s. ViCi Gaming shoving the lanes in, looking to do as much critical damage as they can.
They buy a Blatch too.
There's no buyback on Ice. There's no buyback on Jabs.
Is this it looks like they have it. They actually have the buyback on Arbed.
DJ, he'll get the stun on the 2 of them. There's the buyback from Arbed. Arbed,
my God.
They're holding. Double kill for Arbed. That's 3 dead. Paparazzi's actually brought back, but there's no way that he gets over here. Triple kill for Arbed. That's ViCi Gaming looking to have jumped the gun a little bit. They're trying to close out the game, but they end up feeding so much back towards Fnatic. As
They don't even claim the racks. They just went straight in for the base.
I was a little ambitious. I mean, I guess they figured that some of the buybacks weren't there. Maybe they assumed that Arbed didn't have his. Maybe they thought that he'd spent out, but it wasn't the case. I mean, that play, that was, yeah.
We call those the high risk, high reward.
I guess so. That's, a bit of a question mark there from ViCi Gaming. I mean, that whole play with Fade and Paparazzi, that was fantastic, and then it just turned into a bit of a, I mean, you guys know the emotes. I don't know what happened there. ViCi Gaming, I mean, they got the tier 4s, but they could have been in an amazing place.
They could just have momentum swinging. I think they probably were just like, we can only get 1 set of racks. We want to get more because the other 2 lanes have tier 1 still available. I guess that had to have been their mentality. Maybe they thought the OD didn't have buyback, but yeah, not the case. And now Fnatic, they didn't actually lose the most of value. I mean, sure, their throne is exposed, but they didn't lose Raxes, and
they didn't.
It swings back into their favor in that.
They still have tier 1s in 2 lanes. I mean, I guess that's why ViCi Gaming did want to try and push for more. They knew that they weren't going to find anything else from the base, but that's a risky play to make.
And that was like the dream situation too for ViCi, right?
I mean, that fight went so well for them.
Yeah, Paparazzi was literally positioned perfectly. They got the instant disable on Arbed. Arbed literally did nothing in that first fight when they got him taken out with the Aegis. Both times when he respawned, he got controlled again. So ViCi, they kind of just have to do that again, get that high ground advantage, be able to position Paparazzi with these other heroes just standing in the front lines to protect him.
I guess ViCi Game as well just overestimated sort of the advantage they felt they had. I don't think they expected to die that quickly to sort of Arbed's damage output as he came back in with that buyback.
I mean, I thought they might have it too. I didn't think Arbed was actually going to be able to get into that buyback position there, but he was able to. He caught them off guard. Just BKB blinked in. No opportunity for a Hex or disable there from the side of ViCi.
ViCi Gaming, of course, still with Paparazzi in a very, very strong position.
Yeah. Just now, I mean, Arbed got so much farm out of this. I mean, he got so many levels too. He went from like level 19 to 23. Now refresh him. If he drops a double ulti, will probably just kill Paparazzi here until he gets Gotti.
Yeah, I think this is just a team fight win if he is able to land that on multiple heroes with the double ult.
This is I think them trying to catch ViCi really off guard here. They know that the Paparazzi he's spending buyback. So if they catch this Terrorblade, it could go the other way very quickly.
See what they can do. What is the buyback status for ViCi Gaming as a whole? Do a few of them have it down still?
It was
just Paparazzi and Fade, right?
Paparazzi and Fade, yeah. Paparazzi 5 minutes, Fade 4 minutes. Or 5 minutes and then 4 minutes, yeah. Back up to the base. A little bit of afraid here. They don't see anything on the side of Fnatic. Yang.
That scanned it hit.
Ooh.
I sent you down there. I'm going to find Yang with that. Smart scan there from Fnatic.
Look at him. He kills the range creep, kills a melee creep. He's like, I gotta try to get some farm before I die here. But inevitably will go down.
A good read there at the map from Fnatic, knowing that Yang was around in that location. Towards mid, Fade starting to push out. Arbed looking for blink opportunities, but Fade stays hidden in the trees.
They saw him for a second though with that ward that they had. Nice. Will force the wave in. But you can see Fnatic still wants. They still want to take this fight. They still want to try to hunt.
He's got that full Scardy there, Paparazzi.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of stats to burn through.
Yeah. Now the intelligence, he has a little bit better versus the OD. Abed doesn't really have the most intelligence with the item choice. He only has 114. Doesn't have any like mystic stat, but he only has the attributes coming from his drum as well as his wand.
Smoke up here from Fnatic. Ice. Leading in towards the high ground. He's got that talent online, so that extra bit of vacuum AoE is going to help him for the setups already. You've seen him be nailing sort of vacuum into wall time and time again.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to do it even easier now.
We got to watch how much damage the illusion does do as well, because Paparazzi actually almost killed himself with the illusion in that last situation too. So now he's even stronger with his stats. So
yeah,
we got to watch that one.
The Treants get some vision on the high ground. TJ's going to commit. They're looking to go straight in. There's the two sanities eclipse down. DY, he was able to get the swamp off though. Getting Paparazzi out of the side now. Paparazzi can pop the metamorphosis in the BKB. He'll start to move in. The Crimson Guard from Ice protecting some of the teammates of Fnatic for now. They'll get Jabs by the looks of it. Jabs is the one left behind. The rest of Fnatic just get out of there as soon as they see that BKB and metamorphosis popped. But certainly could have gone a whole lot worse though for ViCi Gaming. DY with the quick plays, just getting Paparazzi away from that combo.
It was actually so fast, but I think the first time these clips actually did hit him, and
one of them did.
It didn't do like any damage because he just picked up the Scotty, so he's actually sitting at 89 int in comparison to the 100 and I think it was like 108 when the ulti dropped from the OD. So it's actually only not really doing a whole lot of damage unless he builds up the stacks from the Arcane Orb.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
As you see, just the two supports. One apiece going down either side. See if they can make any moves off the back of it. MP is going to be able to keep that split push pressure up. Does have to be careful with this Shaman being in the game. As you know, a lot of the times Fade's going to be ready with that jump, with that reach that he has.
He still has to be pretty careful. Like I was saying, he doesn't have the most intelligence, so now he's going to have to try to build up for it, going back for that Hex that he desperately needs. So it's a little weird to see him go for this Refresher. It doesn't really do that much damage when he does pop it off unless he builds up those Arcane Orbs. But the nice thing at least does give him is not just the double Sanities, it's the double BKB. So he's actually able to walk away from this Shadow Shaman, because if he does get locked down at all, Paparazzi is hitting it ridiculously hard with that Venge near him.
And Ice has his Hex, and once there's the Hex on Arbit as well, the Refresher, there's the potential for 3 targets to instantly get Hexed at the start of the fight.
Yeah. Paparazzi still has long BKB though. It's still 8 seconds for this Terrorblade. So he should have a little bit of protection for himself.
As long as he's quick with the BKB reactions, and so far Paparazzi, he's been right on the ball.
Top tower has fallen.
Instant reactions and very readily able to turn fights around and make sure that Fnatic have to sort of jump in. If they don't blow up one of the cores, they have to run away. They cannot stand their ground at the moment against this Terrorblade.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I'm watching DY's positioning a lot. I mean, that last one was so damn quick, but he has to watch out not to be in the range of that vacuum. That's probably the biggest one, so we can get those swaps to be able to position Paparazzi well. You see the Courier is scouting out the Roche from Fnatic. They do know it's available here as MP continues to do the split push.
ViCi Gaming just moving as a 5. Getting that lane pushed in on the middle lane.
Yeah, finally claiming tier 1. They're going to be able to go toward that Roche pit here with this smoke.
They take it pretty quick with Paparazzi's damage output.
Yeah.
Fnatic have to get over there straight away.
The Wave Attire got a glimpse of the Courier there up on that.
Fnatic can't get it quick enough on it. ViCi Gaming, they do this Roshan so quickly, especially with the circle boards committed. He's trying for it, but he gets instantly hexed by Fade. TJ will jump in with a stun. Roshan down on that BKB. He steals the Aegis. The wall's going to be dropped out. Fnatic, they're going to try and fight this, but the BKBs are out on Orient Paparazzi. Orient Paparazzi backing away. Another Slider Fist comes out from MP. He charges in. The Remnant on top of DY. He'll get the Venge, kill the chains. Holding up Paparazzi. First down and his glimpse is down. Arbed, BKB pop, Astral, holds Paparazzi, plays Jag, sprouted up, second Sanities is down. That's going to be Paparazzi out of mana. He's already used the BKB. There's 3 buybacks coming up for ViCi Gaming. Oh Paparazzi
my
dead.
God.
Arbed on top of Fade. 5 dying on ViCi Gaming.
Are you kidding me?
MP getting in with that just still, I mean, it all happened sort of in slow motion. Roshan died, but
was on the
you
floor.
could count the seconds where that Aegis was not picked up by anybody on ViCi Gaming.
Oh, a critical mistake.
They did, nobody wanted it, nobody grabbed it in time. As now Fnatic, they're pushing in. 3 buybacks already used by ViCi Gaming.
And they've got this AoE surge that makes them just chase so fast, and with that wall being put down from the fight, ViCi just had no way that they could take it when Paparazzi's BKB was down.
And that's a 4th buyback. They really want to try and hold the Paparazzi to get the swap out. There's the buyback from Paparazzi. They'll get the vacuum onto the 3 of them. Ben's caught on the front lines. Has to defensively Astral. They've lost the Ember Spirit the once. He's going to be back with the second life Ori. BKB used Paparazzi as well, competing with the BKB. They'll get that OD. Ben buys back straight away, wanting to rejoin the fight. MP. Slide of fist. Has a remnant. Gets away. Fade.
He's on the outside.
See if they can catch him, TJ. And with a 2-man stun jab, starting to poke back at Yang. ViCi Gaming up to the high ground.
Chains on Yang.
DJ, he's in as well. The Vendetta hit, that's going to be 1 dead for good. 100 seconds, Yang's out.
Abed's back here now too. Doesn't have any of his ultis available. Has his BKB though.
And now ViCi Gaming, they're all playing without buybacks.
Yeah, Paparazzi no meta, 2 for 60 seconds. So sure, they have this high ground advantage, but not having that, you're going to see Fnatic just try to siege here. They've got Crimson Guard available, 2 for protection. Still quite hard versus that Nether Toxin spam.
Ori, though, does also have to be careful. The spike carapaces continue to cause issues. They can get to the backlines if there's an opportunity to say, oh, we surge DJ, he's straight in, they're on top of the Viper, Ori's in trouble, the wall's down upon him, Grizz will be popped, Ori's sons are given life by Paparazzi. He'll keep Ori safe, but the tier 3 tower in the mid lane goes down. They're pushing on here, Fnatic, trying to take these mid racks.
Taking out all the Serpent Wards too. The Bounty Hunter's still dead for 50 seconds. They're trying to get the most possible out of all this. 30 seconds until the first OD ulti's up in first. They get surge in.
The surge forward. BKB's back up from Ori. Paparazzi's well committed with the BKB. They'll turn towards D. They'll get the Nix and Sassy. Can they get one? They'll lose DY. MP still alive. Time for Abed. Defensive Astral. He's got to be carefully brought back for this one. Back in MP. Change the Paparazzi. The vacuum onto the 3 of them. But they're falling low. Fnatic. They've got to be careful. DJ stuns out onto Paparazzi. Another slide of fist. We can't tell by MP. But the fade. The shackles onto Abed. Mr. the OD's dead for good. Triple kill for Ori. As Abed dead for 2 minutes. ViCi Gaming now maybe their turn to strike back. They've also found DJ. DJ, no, he's able to get away with that Vendetta movement speed.
Straight down the mid. Paparazzi actually popped the meta right at the end of the fight. Like as soon as the OD died, he actually popped the meta. So by the time he reaches the base, it's gonna actually be over. But they get that big kill on the OD from it. Fade getting that catch, and oh my god, these fights.
It's 100 seconds and they were able to defend. The racks do not go down in that middle lane.
That's a full hex on jabs.
Full hex on jabs. Shiva's Guard complete on MP.
I mean, we're talking about the 5 cores coming out. It's really looking to be like that for Fnatic, as they're all scaling incredibly hard. It's Paparazzi. He stepped forward here. They're
gotta be careful. Can't get 45. There's the hex. Jabs in with the hex purchase straight away.
Another hex.
Paparazzi needs help, but he needs it now. Is he gonna get the vacuum back against the BKB off Sunder? Paparazzi back on the fall. Turns towards Jabs. The hex. The shackles onto DJ. DJ's trying to get out there for lost Jabs. He's dead. DJ turns with the stun, but again hexed up. They'll chase him down. They'll get a third. Fade. The shackles. He's caught MP. ViCi Gaming. They'll fight the Ember as well. As we're 4 dead, only MP with the buyback available.
We see the Darkseer wall illusion of the Viper is actually pulling the whole creep wave though, so there's no wave in the mid lane for them to get a push out of these 3 kills.
Ice is keeping the game open by doing this. Ice making the heads up play with the pressure on. Ice continuing to keep it cool as the name would suggest.
Man, they were so close to actually bringing down this Tower Blade before the BKB Sunder comes out.
Paparazzi's got the full refresher ready for the next fight. The double BKB durations.
Yeah, and he hit the level 25 before that fight actually happened, so that Sunder, that cooldown, 5 seconds if they can't actually bring him down in time.
And still throughout the chaos, just how farmed this Terror Blade is.
Yeah.
27,000 net worth on Paparazzi. He's 10k above anybody else on Fnatic's team.
They've got time now.
They've got Abed back in the game.
Are they going for it again? Are they going for it again for the base? It is exposed. They've got Serpent Wards on it.
They're dropping for the Hex. The Sanities. They're straight in on top of them. Abed committed with the BKB. The second Sanities is down. They're poor DY now. Very low. DY's gone. They've got to find some of these cores down. Paparazzi, BKB, Sunder. He takes the life of MP's back up to full. MP's dead for 2 minutes. The shackles are getting fade with the control. Abed's dead. ViCi Gaming. They've done it here in game 2. GG is called. And they will bring the series 1-0.
Oh my god, Fade came in so clutch toward that end of the game. Just these disables, the hexes, as well as those long distance shackles, finding the right targets over and over again as they're trying to disengage. But this game was absolutely crazy the way it was going back and forth.
The buybacks, I mean, it already kicked off. I mean, Fade, I've got to say it again. That fight where him buying back, getting in, offering that hex, allowing them to get those core kills, that really opened up the game for ViCi Gaming. Sure, we started to get a little crazy going for those tier 4s, but it didn't matter at the end of the day. The quick-witted plays of ViCi Gaming.